Alright, and welcome back to Sobriety Road. My name's James. This is episode 2. And I'm excited about this episode. Once again, I just thank you for being on this journey of sobriety. This is still day number 1 for me. I'm filming episode 2 the same night as episode 1. So, okay. On this episode, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to take a field trip. We're going to go back to October 20th, 2016. Okay, this is a good one. I've got quite a bit of material that I filmed here this day. To kind of set the scene a little bit, this is about almost 7 years ago. I was still living in my old house 15 minutes away. Me and my wife and my 2 kids. I was working at a prison at the time. I was a correctional officer. I was actually over a whole unit. I was over 500 inmates. I had 4 officers underneath me. I think I was doing that roughly 3 months. That position, I'd been working there probably a little over a year at that point. And in retrospect, I also did prison work back in 01 to 03, so that's another story. But this day, I was on the way to work, and I was in my car, and my car all of a sudden just started making this hellacious noise. It was the wheel bearing or something like that. So basically all you really need to know about this scene is I was on my way to work. I had intentions to go to work. My car quit. I got a loaner. I was upset because I was like thinking, shit, I'm just going to go home and drink. I can't get to work. To set this scene up, I bought me a 12-pack. I live in Flatland, Oklahoma. I mean, there ain't shit. But there's this little rock formation that I'd been going to for years, and I'll set all this up. So let's go back to October 20th, 2016, and at the end we'll kind of unpackage it together and talk about it. Today I'm taking this is a special day for me. Which, the first time I ever came out here, I was, I believe, 12, 13 years old. January 6th, I believe, of 2006. And me and Russell came out here, and we filmed The Drunken Son from Tomorrow. I've been out here twice. This makes the 3rd time in 10 years. So I thought, hey, I'm going to take you along with me. So let's go up and check it out. Let's get a picture of the namesake, Ghost Mound. There she is. It's like an old friend. That path right there, that means so much. Just looking at that shot right there. Because my life, it was always symbolized. There was a story, but I feel like in a lot of my movies, I kind of made it a theme. I was 18 years old, I was a junior in high school, and I had a teacher named Coach Lightfoot. We called him Coach because he was also a football coach. And he was my football coach for I think my 9th grade year. He told this story about this guy, a journey, how he saw our lives as a journey going up this mountain. And that the obstacles that we overcome makes us stronger. That's kind of a poor version of what he said, but that's kind of what I saw with Ghost Mound, even though it's small. I kind of always saw that. So let's go check it out. So I was 26 years old last time I climbed up this. Now I'm 36. I started thinking, I was like, man, I'm out of shape. I made it to the top. It's hard to make sense of things, There's just so many elements to what makes a person. So many variables. But being up here, I feel at peace. It's like reuniting with an old friend. And there's one friend I'm thinking about right now. And I've been thinking about him for a while. Russell. I know he went in jail. He went to jail, 2013, I think, hold on. It was 3 years ago exactly. Was it last time I talked to him? I was in Arkansas at the time. his girlfriend or whatever let me know that he got sentenced. I think 5 years. I don't know. I miss him. We go through this life and we bump into these people that color our lives. Sometimes it's hard to let it go. It's always been a problem with me. But anyway, I'm gonna sit and reflect for a little bit. Here lately, I've been watching X-Files. Just started season 3 last night, and I'm enjoying it. You know, it's just finding enjoyment. You know, out of something that's not alcohol or beer or whatever else you can think of. Life's funny. I'm just not happy with myself. Here's to you, Russell. I miss your brother. You gotta be careful. A lot of places to fall around here. This spot's pretty special. I mean, there's not much up here. Back in '06, me and Russell were here. I filmed one of the most beautiful sunsets I had ever filmed. I've ever filmed right here. And it seemed like the sun was over here. We're in October, so the sun's right here. Yeah, in January of '06, it was like right over in this area. Beautiful sunset. My goodness. I don't know why I came here today. This wasn't planned. I gotta be truthful with you. Which is, today's not my day off. I'm supposed to be at work right now. Sometimes it's hard to sum things up in words. What's going on? The emotions that go on in your head. And this, while we're being honest, while we're being real, this is that passion I had. Don't know why. I'm still trying to figure that out. But let's be real. Let's be real, you know? I'm tired of fucking doing a charade like, I just had to come down here, making it look like it's my day off. It's not. Let me just tell you what happened. Well, my grandma too. I just took a vacation last week. I took off Thursday, Friday, and I had Saturday, Sunday off. Thursday, Friday, and then Monday. Took off 3 days. Went to South Texas to visit my grandma. She's about to turn 90. I haven't been to South Texas since 2007. So, me and Jamie, we traveled down there. This is getting pretty personal. I'm just gonna let it out. It was tough. It was tough to see my grandma different from the way I remember her. Luckily, she has a good memory, so she knows who she's talking to. She's pretty coherent. I can't remember what night it was. I went over there to visit her, and this is a big story. You got Aunt Nita living right next door to her. They're living right next door to one another. And Aunt Nita, she's on disability because she, I think, hurt her shoulder or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but as soon as I get there, as soon as I hop out of the car, and I arrive from that 9-hour trip, it wasn't a good to see you thing kind of thing. It was more of a you need to, Grandma, we're gonna take turns, take turns going to visit Grandma. We're going to do this and do that. And it was just so strange. Which I was like, okay, cool. Whatever. So I went over and visited her at least twice a day when I was there. And I think the middle day that I was there, I went over and she got up off the couch. She had to use the restroom. And so I was like, well, we need to help you. And she's like, no. So she walks a few steps and she stumbles backwards. And so I'm like, oh crap, she's about to fall backwards. So I grab her arm and she looks at me like she's upset, that I did that, and I mean, she would have fell back. She would have fell totally backwards, So she, I ended up keeping her from falling. It worked out. We had some good conversations. I told Grandma Linda about it. No, Grandma Linda was there with us. Yeah, that's right. And we went over to Aunt Nita's house and talked about it a little bit. And, she started almost crying because, her mom almost fell. And she looked at me and said, well, I think it's her showing off, her trying to do a little more than she normally would do. Grandma was basically saying that she basically pushed herself a little bit more in front of me or us than she normally would have. Well, I think day before yesterday, Grandma Linda calls me up. No, yesterday, on my way to work. She calls me up. She says, Grandma too fell. She fell and looked in, I don't know what room. She just basically fell. And it took an hour for Aunt Nita to get over there to help her out. And she basically said, I don't know what to do. She said the Yoakum nursing home is horrible. And she said, I don't know what we're going to do. And I don't know what to say. I was about to be to work. I didn't really have much to say, but if I could do a do-over, which I wish life was like that, but it's not. I would say I think she needs to be overseen. She needs that professional care. Anyway, it's a long story. I know. It affected me. I get back home. What comes to mind is basically one of the visits we had, me and Grandma too. I call her Grandma too. There's a story behind that, but I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, me and Grandma too were talking, and towards the end of our conversation, she said, "Are you going to sing at my funeral?" And at that time, Aunt Nita was in the kitchen. It took me totally by surprise. I just never thought that Grandma too would talk about her funeral and that. It's just, I guess I'm just not that strong of a person. I guess if there was a much stronger person, they would be able to deal with that. It was tough. It was supposed to have been time away from work. I ended up getting sick. That's another thing too. Ended up getting a cold, kind of a feverish cold kind of a thing, drainage and shit. It really wasn't enjoyable. I hate to say that, but it wasn't. It was not enjoyable. Life's just tough. Life is tough, I just figured I really needed to be real with this whole situation. I was supposed to be at work today. I don't know if I explained all that. I'm kind of a few beers in. Not perfect. Not a perfect guy. Right off the bat, I'm going to say, never saw myself going back to the prison. Ever. Ever. Never saw that. Never. It still pisses me off. I feel like I feel like it's going backwards. I feel like it's going backwards for some reason. I just don't feel like it's going forward. It's just that it pays so good. It's hard to turn it down. But no, today, I don't know if I explained it, but let's cover it, shall we? Today, since we got back from the trip, my driver's side front tire has been making a noise. And so I thought, well, it sounds like a tire issue. It was like a humming. And the faster I would go, the more it would hum and make a noise. I kind of ignored it for a couple of days there. Well, yesterday, I was like, well, this is an issue. It sounds like shit. And I knew something was wrong. So this morning I woke up and I took the kids to school. And after I did that, I went to CJ's Southwest Tire, which they put the tires on. So I knew, well, if it's a tire issue, they would be able to fix it. There's a warranty. Bam, we're done. Well, I get there, and they're like, well, the guy takes it on the block and drives it for a minute. I'm outside freezing my ass off. He's like, well, you got a wheel bearing about to go out. I was like, okay. So CJ, I think it's CJ, little motherfucker. He's like, well, come into the office, and we go in. And he's like, well, it's gonna be parts and labor and blah blah blah, $260. I'm like, $260? I'm like, I don't even have. I don't have that. You know what I mean? Huh? I said, well, I don't have that. So basically the wheel bearing need to be changed out. Okay, $260. So I said, well, yeah, we're not gonna do that. So once I knew kind of what was going on, I called Karen and I said, my stepmom, I don't have the money. So I was kind of looking to, hey, can you front me this? And Karen's like, well, is that covered by your warranty? There we go. Is that covered with the warranty? I thought she was talking about the Southwest Tire. We bought Southwest, well, the tires there. And then, she was like, well, no, I'm talking about the warranty through the dealership that we bought the car from. I can't fucking think right now. I called them up this morning. He was like, yeah, sure, bring it in. Can you drop it off? And I'm like, so they're thinking, well, fuck, I stay up till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm having that much sleep. I'm like, yeah, not right now. So I fucking lay back down and woke up about noon. And that's when it hit me. I was like, well, my brain started going. My brain started going, well, we got a day off here. Went over to the dealership over there and we bought the car. I can't think right now. It's pissing me off. But anyway, went over there. I was hoping that they would say, oh, we got to keep the car all night long, Sorry. I thought I'd be able to call work and be like, hey, they're going to keep my car all night, so I can't go to work. Well, he walks up to me and he says, they don't have the part. They don't have the wood bearing. It's gonna be tomorrow. And I'm sitting there going, but he's like, well, we can give you a truck that you can take while we work on it. And I'm sitting there going, huh, okay. I sit there and I'm thinking, okay, well, what's my options here? You know, option one, I can call Jamie up. I can go, hey, my car is going to be, they're going to keep it on that long. I can't go to work because you got to go to work. So, I'm fucked. You know, I'm going to have to stay home. So they gave me this truck. And so I'm sitting there thinking, well, tomorrow, they were like, it'll be there tomorrow. The part won't be there till tomorrow. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, I got two options. I call Jamie up and told her to come pick me up. I thought, well, the best option would be, I'll just, you know, this guy offered me to take this truck overnight. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. You know what? Yeah. So I got this truck. So I'm driving and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I could go to work then. I'm like, fuck it, you know. I basically lied and I said, you know, my car's in the shop, I have no ride, I'm fucked. But here I am. I decided to drive here to reflect. Basically told my boss that I would try to be there, so I drank a few brewskis. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Anyway, we're keeping it real. We're making it real here. This is real. And I feel like I gotta take a shit. There's something else that's coming up. This is pretty though. I love this. I really highly recommend this. It's very beautiful. I might try to get a shot of this right quick. Love this shit. I should be making money right now, but I'm not. It's my last beer, so the party's about to be over. Let's hope I can make it down safe. Oh, can you guys see me? Yeah, a little bit. My battery's about to die. Woo! Let's make it good. You see me? Love it up here. Love it. Let's just end it here. Brush my teeth. Try to go to brush my teeth. Try to go to work. Ow, bitch! So here I am hanging off the cliff. And I can't quit thinking about Russell. This same spot right here is where we handed off I was given the big old case, my camera case, right here in this spot.
10 Angels watching over me today. Thank God for the Hendrick team, the people I worked for. Special thanks to them. This is wish I could have done back then. I wish we actually had a time machine and had actually.
He was talking about NASCAR and all that crap. But anyway, my battery's about to die. I'm just reminiscing, thinking. But I love you guys. It ended up being something I really needed that day. You know, some people go to therapists and talk and get their emotions out, and it helps them be more centered. This this right here, going back to this spot, which is a very special place for me. I mean, did it center me enough to where I quit drinking? No, no, it didn't. After I turned the camera off, I hate to even say this, guys. This is totally irresponsible. In the past, hell, over 3 years, I have never stepped into a car drunk and drove. And so this is, I even debated to even tell you about this. But I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's what this is all about. So I got into that truck. Luckily they had a trash can right there at the fence line. I threw all my beers away. I think I had gum and stuff like that, and so I drove to work. I think I had maybe 2-3 hours left of the shift. My boss he kept calling me, because I told him I'd be on my way, and so I told him, yeah, I'll be there. And the hardest thing to do, or for me, one of the hardest things for me is to be drunk. Because I slammed 12 beers in a. How long is this video? I'm gonna edit it down for you guys, but I shot like almost an hour of video, and so I slammed 12 beers in about an hour and 20 minutes maybe. So I had to go through a fence. Here I am walking, and I'm talking to myself in my head. I'm like, am I walking right? Am I acting right? And so I finally get to my unit, which is all the way across the yard. I walk into the office. They're about to get ready for. It's right before count time, and there was a couple of my orderlies that were in the office with the other 3 officers. So I walk in. I put my bag down, and I'm talking to the officers. And out of the corner of my eye, I can see one of the orderlies, make this gesture, to the other inmate. So I went full on those guys, so I ended up counting, and then, really about that time of the night, it's kind of a downhill thing anyway, so I just sat in the office. And by the time I left, I was sobered up. Didn't get caught. None of the officers said anything. Yeah, I'm just surprised I didn't. That would have been a bad deal. Real bad deal. So I ended up making it home safe. And so there's that story, guys. That's one story. And we've got a lot to tell. I hope you guys keep coming back and see what else we can find out together and learn. And definitely what not to do. Because drinking and driving, never, ever, ever should have done that. And on a side note, there's a scene where towards the end of it, I'm sitting there and I'm talking about my grandma, and she died right before COVID hit. This is 2016. She passed away like right. I think it was like 3 months into COVID, something like that. So my grandma, which is her daughter, said, if you guys are gonna come, there's only so many people we can fit into the church because of COVID restrictions. And I said, we were once again broke, and I was like, I don't have enough money to get a motel and all that. I said, well, I'll put a video together. So I ended up making a really nice video for Grandma. What's funny is I haven't watched this video, and it was about a month ago I watched it, and I noticed that there's that part that comes up where my grandma said to me, she said, you're not going to go to my funeral. And at the time I was like, Grandma, come on, why would I not go to your funeral? And I totally forgot about this. I totally forgot about that. I watched that. It wasn't that long ago. Like I said, a month ago, and it floored me. I was like, oh my God. She was right. I didn't go to the funeral.